Crossover Adventure Productions presents The Chronicles of Oz. Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. Nothing bad lasts forever. Nobody knows this more than the immortals. When you live long enough, you learn an important lesson. There is always good in the world, and it will always find its way. Eventually. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes longer than you want it to. But if you're patient, if you're strong, and if you put your own goodness into the world, you can get through any darkness to see the light. The immortals in the forest of Burzee have seen more than their share of darkness and light over the eons. Have you heard of the great forest of Burzee? Perhaps you've heard of the big tree trunks standing close together, their roots intertwining below the earth and their branches intertwining above it, their rough coating of bark and unusual gnarled limbs. Of their bushy foliage that roofs the entire forest, save where the sunbeams find a path through which to touch the ground in little spots and cast weird and curious shadows over the mosses, lichens, and drifts of dried leaves. For hundreds of years, the forest of Burzee has flourished in all its magnificence, the silence of its enclosure unbroken save by the chirp of busy chipmunks, the growl of wild beasts, and the songs of birds. Burzee is the home of the fairies, which I expect you know already as the guardians of humanity. It is the home of the Canucks, who care for the animals of the world. There are also the Ryls, who look over the flowers and the trees. So many magical creatures in the great forest. And, of course, the nymphs, which is where my story truly begins. For once, so long ago that your great-grandparents could scarcely have heard it mentioned, there lived within the great forest of Burzee a wood nymph named Nagel. She was closely related to the mighty Queen Lurleen, and her home was beneath the shade of a wide, spreading oak. Every year, on budding day, when the trees put forth their new buds, Nagel held the golden chalice of Ak to the lips of the queen, who drank therefrom to the prosperity of the forest. She was a nymph of some importance and took pride in her duty to protect and guard the forests and to minister to the wants of the young trees.
Great Anne, we drink of this chalice and thank you for your protection from this budding day to the next.
But as time went on, Nagel felt the burden of her duties and felt the want for more. She longed to do something of real passion and to pass her days in ways hitherto undreamed of by the forest nymphs. But the law of the forest restrained her from going forth in search of adventure. And while this mood lay heavy upon Nagel, it chanced that great Ak, the master woodsman of the world, visited the forest of Burzee and allowed the wood nymphs to lie at his feet and listen to the words of wisdom that fell from his lips.
We live so happily, my fair ones, in our forest glades, that we know nothing of the sorrow and misery that fall to the lot of those poor mortals who inhabit the open spaces of the earth. They are not of our race, it is true, yet compassion well suits beings as fairly favoured as ourselves. I have walked the earth much this past year and seen such depression, such isolation. Often, as I pass by the dwelling of some suffering mortal, I am tempted to stop and banish the poor thing's misery. Yet suffering, in moderation, is the natural order for mortals, and it is not our place to interfere with the laws of nature.
But I'm sure you have assisted them from time to time, Great Ak. We know you of old.
Sometimes when they're very young, children the mortals call them, I've stopped to rescue them from misery. The adults I dare not assist. They must bear the burdens nature has imposed on them. The children are innocent, and children have a right to be happy until they become fully grown and able to bear the trials of humanity.
Tell us a story of a mortal you saved, Great Ak.
I can tell a tale of this very night. As I came to the edge of Birdsea, I heard a feeble cry, which I judged came from a human infant. I looked about me and found, close to the forest, a helpless babe lying naked and wailing on the grass. How the child came to be there I know not. And not far away, screened by the forest, crouched Hoegerl, the lioness, intent upon devouring the infant for her evening meal.
And what did you do?
I could do little. I was in a hurry to greet my nymphs, but I commanded Hoegerl to lie close to the babe and give it her milk to quiet its hunger. And I told her to send word throughout the forest to all beasts and reptiles that the child should not be harmed.
Where is the child now?
You show quite an interest in this child, Lucille. Why do you ask?
Great Ak, I don't mean to be insubordinate.
The
but...
baby is with Hoegerl still, to my knowledge, beyond the edge of the great forest.
Thank you, Great Ak.
But the misery of the mortals brings us no joy. Let us talk of other things. This is the budding day.
And while the nymphs, Canooks, Riles, and others took joy in the Master Woodsman, Lucille grew quiet, deep in thought. Then, with a strange resolve, she stole away from the group and ran through the forest. Swiftly her lithe form darted through the forest paths until she reached the edge of the mighty Birdsea, where she paused to gaze curiously around her.
My, I've never gone so far from home before. I'm surely breaking the law.
This did not give pause to her dainty feet. She continued through the trees until she came to the edge of the forest, and there, in the clearing, she found the babe.
Hello there, little one. Oh, my darling little boy. You are so beautiful. Hoegerl! You know me, Hoegerl. It's Lucille. Yes, I know I ventured further than I'm allowed, but I just had to see the child. You understand that, don't you? You are already a mother, and I...
And you wish to be a mother, Lucille?
Great Ak!
Calm yourself, Hoegerl. I will handle my wood nymph.
I apologize, Master Woodsman.
The first time within my knowledge, a nymph has defied me and my laws.
Oh, Great Ak, please.
And yet in my heart I can find no word of chiding. What is your desire, Lucille?
My desire, Great One? You wish to know my desire?
I sense I already know it, but I wish to hear you say it.
Let me keep the child.
Here? In the Forest of Birds? Where the human race has never yet entered?
Yes, in the Forest of Birdsea. It's my home, and let me care for it, Great Ak. See how weak and helpless it is? Surely it cannot harm Birdsea, nor the Master Woodsman of the world.
But the law, child, the law.
You make the law, Master Woodsman. If you bid me care for the babe, the one that you yourself saved from death, who in all the world dare oppose me?
You make a fair point, young Lucille. And I sense you have a need for something beyond your own will to care for. You may keep the babe, and I will give it my protection. But I warn you all that this is the first time I have relaxed the law. So shall it be the last time. Nevermore, to the end of the world, shall a mortal be adopted by an immortal. Otherwise would we abandon our happy existence for one of trouble and anxiety.
I understand, Master Woodsman. Thank you. Thank you.
What shall you call him, Lucille?
What?
He must have a name, you know. What shall you call your new child?
Let him be called Claus. In the language of the nymphs, it means little one.
Perhaps you could call him Niklaus instead. Then he would be Lucille's little one.
Claus. My lovely, little, adorable Claus.
Some of you may have worked it out already, but for those who haven't, that little baby was me. And Nagel proved to be as wonderful a mother as any growing boy could have wished for. I had no lack for anything, and flourished in the great forest. Day by day I grew, surrounded by the magic of the immortals. News soon reached the others that I had been adopted by the nymphs, and many came to visit the new stranger to Bursey throughout my life. I rode cheerfully upon the shoulders of the merry Ryals, mischievously pulling the grey beards of the low-browed Canooks, and I even spent days with the fairy queen herself. The Ryals loved the sound of my laughter, the Canooks loved my courage, and the fairies loved my innocence, and I made friends with them all. And as the years passed and I grew older, soon too big to lie in Nagel's lap, I spent my days exploring the forest and learning the ways of the creatures of Bursey. Soon I could sing the songs of the bees, recite the poetry of the woodflowers, and relate the history of every blinking owl. I helped the Ryals to feed their plants and the Canooks to keep order amongst the animals. I was happy and content. This way! It went this way!
Watch the flowers, Claus.
You're always on about your plants.
I'm a Ryle. It's what we do.
Well, he's fascinated by an animal right now,
And that just makes you the happiest thing ever, doesn't it?
Hush, he's getting away from us.
Claus?
Can't wait for you, slowpokes!
Oh, he has a point. We should wait here under these trees a while.
You wait. I'm following Claus.
You're not leaving me behind.
Blink, blink. Blink, blink.
What have you found there, Claus?
It's a cat.
So it is.
It's blinking at me.
'Cause it's staring into the sun.
It's all blinky.
Mortals can be so stupid sometimes.
You're stupid, Ryle. Go paint a tree.
Now. Mustn't have bickering in the magical forest of Bursey now, must we?
Jack Frost.
Where? Oh, you mean me.
I thought it felt cold here.
Are you following me?
No, I'm merely taking a stroll in the woods. The mortal world is in summer, so there's not a lot to do right now for the likes of me. I'm wondering what you're doing to this poor cat. It must have wandered in from the outside world.
Outside world? You mean the mortal realm?
It's rare that we get strays into Bursey, but I've heard of worse. Do you like him, Claus?
He blinks a lot,
'Cause of the sun.
but he's very pretty. Are there more like him out there?
Oh, little Claus, there are so many wonderful and marvelous things out there in the mortal world. So many good people to meet. But there's danger too. Not everything is as cute as this blinking cat out there. Best stay put in your magic forest, don't you think?
Stay put. Wait, you mean I could leave if I wanted?
Now that wouldn't make the great Ack or the sweet Nagel happy now, would it? Pretend I didn't say anything. You'd best be getting back home now, surely. You're very close to the edge of the forest, little Claus.
The mortal world. It was the first time I had properly understood that I was from a world very different from the places I'd known, and my imagination was sparked. Then one day, Great Ack returned to the forest of Bursey, and I was finally able to meet the master woodsman of the world to whom I owed my life. And I had questions.
I have visited in turn all my forests in the world, and I can assure you all that they are many and broad. No. Could this strapping young man be little Claus?
This is he, Great Ack. Come along, Claus. Greet the Master Woodsman.
Welcome back to Bursey, Great Ack. I trust your journey was well.
It was indeed, young man. I see a life in my enchanted forest has done you well.
The nymphs have been good to me, sir.
I'm certain they have.
We are very proud of our Claus, Great Ack.
Claus means little, and he's not so little anymore. Are you, boy?
No, sir.
But I see in your eyes that your heart is good. I see great things in your future, Claus. Great things.
Thank you, sir.
Was there something else?
Yes, I was wondering if you could tell me more about where I'm from. The world where you found me.
Claus, you don't need to know
I want to know about people like me, Great Ak. And you've traveled the forests of the world and know of others like me, haven't you? Sir?
Perhaps it is time to show you what is out there. We will meet again between wars.
I didn't understand then what the Great Ak meant. I merely looked upon him in awe, as a teenager tends to do when he comes face to face with a god. And it was the very next morning I was to learn what the Master Woodsman of the world had in mind for little me.
You must bid goodbye to Nagel and her sisters for a time, young Claus. I wish you to accompany me.
Accompany you? Great Ak? Me?
You asked to see something of the world from which you came. I understand you've been speaking with Jack Frost, and he's put ideas in your head. And fair enough too. You can only learn so much from the Canucks and the Riles.
Yes, sir.
Place your hand upon my girdle and hold fast while we journey through the air. For now we shall encircle the world and look upon those from whom you are descended.
Like this?
Just like that. Now hold fast as we encircle the world.
Great Ak, I'm scared.
Fear not, Claus. Have my protection.
We're a long way into the sky.
It is how we must travel to the human world. We have arrived. This place is known to those who live here as the City of Emeralds. I have brought you to the land of Oz. You will come to know its people, as I sense you will know all people.
Can they see us?
Not while you hold fast to my girdle. You must not let go, Claus. For to release your grasp would be to separate yourself forever from me and your home in Birdsea.
I'll hold on tight then.
Good. What do you see, young Claus?
I see humans. People like myself. I had no idea there was so many like me.
Indeed, the immortals are few, but the mortals are many.
So I see. There!
Come back, Mackay. You're going too fast.
Can't catch me, you know.
Children! Those are children, aren't they?
You were a child yourself not that long ago.
But I never met any others like me. They look so happy.
Do all of them look happy?
No, not all of them. There are hungry children over there, begging for food, and nobody's feeding them.
Childhood is the time of humanity's greatest content. It is during these years of innocent pleasure that the little ones are most free from care.
But they're not all free from care. Tell me, Great Ak, why don't all these children fare alike?
Because they are born in both cottage and palace. The difference in the wealth of the parents determines the lot of the child. Some are carefully clothed in fine silks and dainty linen. Others are neglected and covered in rags.
But yet all these children seem equally fair and sweet.
While they are children, this is true. Their joy is being alive, and they do not stop to think.
And when they grow up?
This is another thing altogether. Come, Claus, we have much to see.
And so Great Ak took me through the Emerald City streets and the neighboring towns, and showed me the mortals of Oz. There was a small girl in the streets of Winkyland who could barely be 2 years old, chasing a rabbit. She was so skinny that she clearly hadn't eaten in days. And we saw the children of a Munchkin farmer putting the final touches to a scarecrow in their field, and enjoying the act of painting his pumpkin-shaped face. Children from many ways of life and infinite backgrounds, learning the ways of their world. However, it was in the palace of the Emerald City I was to see the true extent of what faced humanity.
I said I wanted dessert. Where is my dessert? Bring it to me at once.
Who have you brought me to, Great Ak?
This is Princess Ascadelia of the Emerald City. One day she will rule the land of Oz when she ceases to be a child.
I don't want to ask again. Bring me my pudding now.
Then I pity for the people of Oz.
Do you not pity for the child? See her misery.
Misery? She lives in such comfort and decadence in this palace. How can she want for anything?
Even in an extravagant home like this, a child can be miserable. And she is acting on her sadness in the only way she knows how.
What could make her sad here?
I wonder indeed.
What is that, Great Hack?
That, Claus, is an Hoegerl. They feed on the misery of mortals.
That took long enough, servants. Bring that pudding over here. No, I wanted chocolate, not banana. Can't you do anything right?
That creature is doing this! It's using the poor girl. The angrier she gets, the more it feeds.
Do not let go of my girdle, Claus.
But we have to help her. We have to stop that thing. Can't you see it? Making the princess act this way?
We are not able to interfere. It is not the way of the immortal.
You helped me, Great Hack, when I was a baby. Why won't you help her?
It is not the way of the immortal.
But I'm not an immortal.
No, Claus. You are not.
I can't just stand by and let them make children miserable. I can't.
I believe our journey is over. What did you learn, little Claus?
Are the Hoegerls everywhere, Great Hack?
Wherever there is sadness, wherever an innocent suffers, there are Hoegerls. It is the way of the world.
I see.
What are you thinking, Claus? What is in your mind? I had hoped that by showing you this, you would learn the dangers of the mortal world. That it is best for you and for us all that you think no further about leaving. Here, you are safe. Birdsey will protect you from the demons mortals cannot see. Think upon my words, Claus, and do not be tempted by the world outside.
No, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
Don't you wanna go out where the sun is shining, where there are people smiling, out there the world is glowing, out in the world you're going, out there, where there are crazy creatures, famous, fantastic futures, every place, every item, one day you're gonna see them, out there. Don't tempt me, please, no, no, really, don't tempt me, 'cause you might go.
Don't tempt me! Don't tempt me, or I'll go!
Living in this strange world day after day, feeling trapped by these same four trees, with the universe right there one step away. Why don't you just step out and go, out where the world is ending, out where it's just beginning, out where the sky is falling, maybe just rain is pouring, out there, out where it isn't scary, danger for the unwary, don't even want to think it, don't you just want to risk it, out there, don't tempt me, just go. Everyone tells you stay on your own, stay where you are, stay safe. Sure, it's gonna be right, but how do you know? The urge is so strong to go.
Claus, what is this? What are you saying?
Lucille, you have been kind to me. All the nymphs have been. But I have looked upon the mortals and they're inspiring. They're doomed to live for a brief space upon earth, to toil for things they need, to fade into old age and then pass away in the leaves in autumn. Yet every mortal has a mission, to leave the world in some way better than as they found it.
I see.
And I am of the race of humans, and their lot is my lot.
What will you do?
I must devote myself to the care of the children of humanity, and try to make them happy, just as you did for me when I was a child. I will endeavor to make their world better than as I found it.
I had hoped our journey would have shown you the dangers of the mortal world, Claus. But perhaps you have a greater calling. Yet one thing must not be forgotten. Having been adopted as a child of the forest and the playfellow of the nymphs, you have gained a distinction which forever separates you from your kind. Therefore, when you go forth into the mortal world, you shall retain the protection of the forest. The powers you now enjoy will remain with you to assist you in your labours. In Then in need you may call upon the nymphs, the Ryals, the Canucks, and the fairies, and they will serve you gladly. I, the Master Woodsman of the world, have said it, and my word is the law.
Thank you, Great Ag. I will honor you. I will honor the forest of Burzy.
Out where the snow is falling, freezing, cold wind is blowing, you will be bloody freezing, it will be worth the feeling. Out where there's people laughing, finding your friends, enchanting, wasting time, being somewhere. How much you want to be there? Out there, how much you want to be there? How much you want to be there? Don't tempt me, just go.
Your Majesty, apologies, Your Majesty.
You may speak, minion.
The oracles have sensed something. There has
been a change. I too have felt it. Something new has arrived in the world. Something new and yet older than anything.
From where?
From where else? The immortals. Show me Burzy.
Don't tempt me, please let me go.
A boy. Just a boy.
What does it mean, Your Majesty?
I do not know. Not yet. But this boy, the word in the nymph language is claws, and he is truly a little one. I don't think the Adlers have anything to fear from this human yet.
Yet?
We shall watch him, for something has truly changed in the world, now that he has entered it.
Out where the birds are singing, out where the ducks are quacking, out where the flowers blooming, out in the world I'm zooming.
He's singing again.
He's not going to do this through the whole thing, is he?
Out in the world I'm zooming. Here!
What?
It's right here!
What's right here?
Can't you see it?
You're talking stupid again, Claus.
And singing.
Maybe you should go back to Nagel.
No, look! This is where I can live.
Here?
Yes, here. Look at the hills. Look at how they swoop down into the valley with the
cowslips?
Yeah, and the
daisies?
Those too.
If you're going to settle here, Claus, then you had better learn the names of the flowers.
I will.
What about the name of the place? It's rude to settle somewhere and not know its name.
It's called the Laughing Valley.
How do you know that?
Because I just named it that. It makes me laugh. The Laughing Valley of Ho-Ha-Ho. Here is where I will make my home. And so I did. Together with the Canucks and the Ryals and my other friends from the forest, we built a small house for me to settle in, as humans ought to do. We use wood from fallen trees, never living trees. My time with the nymphs taught me those are sacred. The Canucks helped me to assemble the house itself. The fairies brought me skillets and pots and dishes and pans and all the tools necessary to prepare food and comfort a mortal. The Ryals provided grain for bread and fruit and flowers and anything else I should need to sustain me. So began my life in the Laughing Valley, with the favor and friendship of the immortals to minister to my every want. And soon it was time for me to join my fellow mortals and begin what I had come to do. This is wonderful! What a wonderfully green city this is! Good morning, human, and pleasant day, mortal person! Look at me, talking to people, just like me!
Get out of the road, you fool!
And a very happy day to you too, sir! Oh, I can see the people here are very friendly. Whoa! I'm sorry! Perhaps should not have been standing there. Oh, hello there, little one. What are you doing?
We're just playing.
Interesting. Very interesting. What are you playing?
Skipping rope.
Really?
We're allowed, you know.
I'm sure you are. And you look like you're having a lot of fun. Do you mind if I join in?
You? You're a grown-up.
Yes, so?
Grown-ups can't play games.
Whatever gave you that idea? Some of the oldest beings I know play nothing but games with each other. Have you ever heard of the Immortals?
No.
Trust me, you'll never find a more... yes, well, story time later. Games now! Start swinging that rope around. I think I can see how this works.
If you say so.
Yes, I see. I think I can. Right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Very funny. Ow.
Did you hurt your bum?
Yes, I did.
You're silly.
What a better way to be. Help me up, please. I'm going to try again.
You what?
If at first you don't succeed...
Give up because you're old and you'll break something.
Shh, positive thinking. Now.
What are you doing?
Oh, hello. Look, it's another adult. Maybe they want to play too.
How many times have we told you, don't talk to strangers?
Oh, he's not a stranger. He's fun.
You don't even know his name.
Yes, quite right. I haven't introduced myself. My name is Claus. It means...
You're far too old to be playing games with kids.
Am I? Surely...
Go away. Leave my son alone and go back where you came from.
Bye, Claus!
See you next time, little one. I presume there was a lesson for me in that. Not yet put off, I explored deeper into the city, and soon found the entrance to the Great Palace. Last time I was here, Great Act took me inside, and there was that very upset princess. I bet I could cheer her up now she can see me.
Who rang that bell?
I did.
Can't you read?
Read what?
The notice.
What notice?
It's on the door. As plain as the nose on my face.
Then why shouldn't I just read the nose on your face then?
Are you wasting me time? Get out of here.
I'm sorry. My little joke. I'll read your notice. No admittance until noon.
So go away.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize. But since you're here, I'd like to see the princess, please.
Oh, you would you?
She looks as if she needs a friend.
Princess Ascadelia doesn't need the likes of you. So up it!
Please, I've come such a long way already. Perhaps if I could...
Are you hard of hearing as well as stupid?
There is no reason to be rude, you know.
No, but it makes me happy. Go on, get out of here before King Baum has you arrested for loitering.
Yes, but...
Get lost!
Perhaps I should just go home then. The Canucks and Riles will be happy for my company, I guess.
Hey, Mr. Grown-Up.
Little one? Hello again! Should you be here? Didn't your parents...
I escaped. I wanted to give you this.
Your skipping rope?
Yeah. Get some practice in before your next visit, huh?
What's your name?
Weekum, mister.
Thank you, Weekum. I appreciate the gift.
See you next time, Mr. Claus.
Yes, thank you. Until next time. A gift from a child. I could barely believe it. And I decided then to take it home immediately and treasure it, while I considered what I could do for the child in return. But when I arrived at the front door of my house, the cold, icy grimace of an old familiar face awaited me.
Well, you took your time, young man.
Go away, Jack Frost. You'll not freeze my toes this time.
You're no fun since you decided to be all mortal.
Humanity needs me.
Do they? Not from what I saw.
Stop spying on me and go find something better to do.
Oh, I'll get there. Oh, there's rare sport for me tonight, Claus. Look at the gloriously cool weather. I'll be nipping scores of noses and ears and toes before daybreak.
Jack, please. Spare the children.
And why?
Because they're tender and helpless.
Ooh, but I love it when they're tender. The older ones are tough and tire out my fingers.
The young ones are weak and can't fight you.
All the better. Come on, Claus. You used to laugh at my games. What happened? You can't be that human already, surely.
I want there to be more good in the world, Jack Frost. And you just hurt people.
Suit yourself. It's going to be a cold one. The snow is already settling. Better get inside, all nice and warm, like a good little human.
Thank you. I'll do just that.
I might start by chasing some of the wild reindeer through the forest. They're a good challenge to practice on. They travel across snow so well.
Have a good time, Jack.
Bye, Claus. Don't get my snow.
Poor villagers. He's right. It's definitely getting cold out there. Yes, Blinky, it's cold. You should stay in here like a good cat. Otherwise the likes of Jack Frost will get at you. Stay by the fire. I had a good day today. I met some lovely people. I mean, some of them weren't very nice, and some of them were actually a bit mean. But I guess that's the way of people. You can't be friends with everyone. This? It's a skipping rope. One of the things from the children. They gave it to me. I wish I had something I could give them in return. I probably won't see them again for a while. Jack's getting carried away out there. The snow's getting deep. Winter is here, Blinky. It'll be just you and me for a while. As I settled in for my first winter in the Laughing Valley, I absent-mindedly picked up a small block of wood from beside the fireplace. Taking a sharp knife, I started to whittle away at it, while I talked to Blinky and told him all about my day. As the night went on, I realized the block had begun to take shape. It started to look a bit like a cat, with 2 ears sticking upward. Look, Blinky, it's you! So I kept carving, shaping out its eyes, its nose, the lower part of the head flowing down into a long body and a tail wound around its legs. It took me most of the night, but by morning, I had a very good replica of Blinky himself. Now, Blinky, stop that. It's not a real cat, don't be silly. But doesn't it look a lot like you? It's a toy. That's what it is. A brand new toy. Don't you like the toy, Blinky? Isn't it pretty?
And soon everything is starting to become clear. This clause will be a threat to us.
A hush lay on the Laughing Valley now. Snow covered it like a white spread, and pillows of downy flakes drifted past my house. The brook gurgled on beneath the heavy sheet of ice, and all living plants and insects nestled close to Mother Earth to keep warm. The face of the moon was hid by dark clouds in the wind, delighting in the wintry sport. Pushed and wild the snowflakes in so many directions that they could get no chance to fall to the ground. It was on nights like this one I was thankful for the Canucks for building my comfortable shelter. On this particular night, in the middle of winter, something happened that I did not expect in a million years. Did you hear that, Blinky? That's what I thought. Someone seems to be at the door. But who would be out in this horrific weather? Hello? Hello, is anybody there? If you're out there, you must be terribly cold right now. Hello? Must have imagined it. Oh, well, Oh, stupid ice. Now I'm all wet. I stopped when I realized that the snowdrift I had fallen across was not as it seemed, for within contained a small hand. A child! Jack Frost, I told you to leave the children! Not the children! Come on, little one. Get up, let's get you inside. Yes, Blinky, it's a child. We need to get him warm. Here we go, by the fire. I know this boy. It's the boy who gave me the skipping rope. Weekum! That's it. Can you hear me, Weekum?
Claus?
Yes, it's me.
I'm so cold.
I know, and we're going to warm you up. Here, let's get this blanket around you and keep you by the fire. What were you doing out in the cold, little one?
I was trying to get to my auntie's house, but I lost my way.
You sure did. What a night to be out in the snow. But it's all right. You're safe now. You can stay here for tonight, and tomorrow we'll get you back to your parents in the city.
Thank you, Claus.
It's the least I can do. Here, let me get you a warm drink. Do you like cocoa?
Yes. I like your cat.
Thank you. That's Blinky. The Canucks brought him to me during the autumn for company.
Can I hold him?
I think Blinky has decided against that. But here, try this one. He won't mind a bit. He's made of wood.
It's a toy cat.
Exactly.
Can it sleep with me to help keep me warm?
I have a better idea, Weekum. Why not keep it forever?
Really? Forever and ever?
If you want it, why not? Consider it a present. My very first present. And Weekum held it close all night and couldn't be parted with it for the entire journey back to his home. And when he saw his mother for the first time after a traumatic night in a snowstorm, the first thing he said was,
"Look, Mum! Look! I've got a toy cat!"
The joy that little wooden cat brought that boy was beautiful and infectious. It made me so happy to see him happy. Alas, it did not make others happy.
This clause is turning the fears and pain of the children of the world into joy and happiness. He cannot be allowed to continue. Gather my armies. It is time to take action against this mortal. He must not put any more good into the world. Find him. Find Claus and stop him.
I don't know why I didn't think of this before. If one little wooden cat can make Weekum please, then 5 of them will make 5 children happy. Oh, I can't wait to see their little faces when they see what I've made them. What was that? Jack Frost, if that's you, go away. The winter is over. You've done enough harm.
We don't bring the frost.
Oh, no. Augurs. Stay away from me, you horrid little creatures. Get back! Stop! Stop! Put me down! Put me down at once!
Enjoy your new home, toy maker. Try making people happy there.
Where am I? I don't know this place. It's not at all like Bursey. Native jungle predators, as expected. Probably going to try and eat me. Don't suppose you want a little wooden cat, do you? Thought not. Okay, I need to get back to the Laughing Valley. I need to get home. Canucks! Come to me, ye Canucks of the forest! Help!
Who are you that call us?
The friend of your brothers in Bursey. I've been brought here by my enemies, the Augurs, and left to perish miserably. Yet now I implore your help to release me and send me home again.
Have you the sign?
The sign? Oh yes, the sign. Goes like this.
Our brothers of Bursey make strange friends.
Well, thank you very much.
But he who knows our secret sign and signal is entitled to our help, whoever he may be. Close your eyes, stranger, and we will conduct you to your home.
Thank you. Do you know of the Laughing Valley?
There is but one Laughing Valley in the known world, so we cannot go astray.
So the Jungle Canucks sent me home, just as I asked. And that very same day I returned to the forest of Bursey to speak with my old friends. And if it wasn't for the Canucks of that strange place, I wouldn't have found my way back.
Oh, poor little one. It seems the Augurs have become your enemies.
What did I ever do to them?
To them? You did nothing. You've not so much as spoken to an Augur before today. For some, the very existence of a person is enough to get their attention.
Is it because I'm a bad human? There were people in the city who were mean and spoke to me.
No! By the great Ark, no, Nicholas. You have the purest heart in all the world, and all you seek is to put more goodness into it. For some creatures, this is abhorrent to them. And by their very nature, they will seek to stamp out goodness and spread their own misery.
Should I stop? I don't want the Augurs to hurt me, or the people around me.
Exactly the opposite. Keep doing good, Claus. Keep making people happy. Keep making the world around you a better place. Make the world happier for you being in it. And never let the darkness of the Augurs overcome you. They can only triumph if you let them.
So I returned home, and I picked up my knife and a new block of wood, and set about making a new toy, putting my ordeal with the Augurs behind me. And inspired by my reunion with Nagel, and a little tired of carving cats, if I'm honest, I fashioned from the wood a new shape. Arms, legs, head. I was creating a miniature nymph, just like Nagel. When I had the shape together, I began to paint it in all the colours of the forest of Bursey, giving the figure long wavy hair and bright blue eyes, and a gown of oak leaves. Oh, calm down, Plinky. We're allowed to have visitors. Hello?
Is you Claus?
Indeed I am, my dear. And you're most welcome. Ignore Plinky. He's grumpy because I haven't fed him his dinner yet. What's your name?
Mary.
Nice to meet you, Mary. Now, why have you made this long journey to see me?
I want a cat.
Tat? Oh, you want my toy cats, do you?
Yes, cat.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I'm sorry, Mary, but unfortunately I haven't got any left.
I want cat.
Oh, please don't cry, little one. Don't be sad. I have a toy much nicer than a cat. It's brand new. Would you like to have a look?
Yes, please.
One moment. Her name is Nagel. I just finished her. Careful, the paint is still a bit wet.
Ooh.
Do you like her?
Dolly.
What?
I call her a Dolly.
Oh, well, if that's what you want to name her, then why not? Dolly. I like it.
Hello, Dolly.
Yes, quite.
And here's a cat for you, and a little dog for you, and you can have this little fairy. Look at its tiny wings. Isn't it cute? Oh, come on up, everyone. I've made all these lovely toys for you all.
Thank you, Claus.
You're quite welcome, Weekum. Don't be shy, children. I've got so many toys in my sack. You can't make me take them back to the Laughing Valley now, can you? Hello, Mary. What's wrong?
I broke my Dolly.
Ow.
I dropped her and then broke off her arm, and then I dropped her and broke off her ear, and now she's all spoiled.
Oh, never mind. How would you like this new little fairy instead?
Ooh, toys! Can I have a beautiful lady?
You like it?
I love it! It's better than a dolly.
Then take it, my dear. Be careful not to break it.
Make way for Her Royal Highness, Princess Ascadelia.
Your Highness.
Please, Mr. Claus, I want a toy.
You want a toy? From me?
That is correct.
But you're a princess, the daughter of the King of Oz. Surely you have everything you could possibly desire.
Except toys? And your toys are the best in all the world.
And I make them all for the small children who have nothing else to amuse them.
Do poor children love to play with toys more than rich children?
Well, I suppose not.
Am I to blame because my father is a king? Must I be denied the pretty toys I long for because some other child is poorer than I?
But you have so much. You have your ponies to ride, your servants to wait on you, and every comfort you could ever wish for.
But I want toys! And if I cannot have them, I shall be unhappy. Very unhappy.
I'm thinking I might have to make some lists. One for good children and one for naughty ones. Because I tell you, right up top of the naughty list...
Is she truly naughty, Claus?
She's greedy. She already has everything. But kids like Weekum and Mary have nothing. If I give presents to the rich children as well as the poor ones, I'll be making toys non-stop all year. Is it right I should give toys to the rich?
We of the forest know nothing of riches. It seems to me that one child is like another child, since they are all made of the same clay. And riches are like a gown, which may be put on and taken away, leaving the child unchanged.
This is true.
Whether she be rich or poor, a child's longing for pretty playthings are but natural. Rich Ascadelia's heart may suffer as much grief as poor Mary's. She can be just as lonely and just as happy. I think, little one, It's your duty to make all little ones glad, whether they live in palaces or cottages.
If I get into the Great Hall and find my ponies are not saddled and ready for me to ride, there will be hell to pay. I'll go to my father the king, and I can guarantee that he'll... Who left this parcel here? Well, why does it have my name on it? Is it for me? It must be. Why would someone put my name on something for someone else? It's a wooden pony! It's a toy from Mr. Klaus! He gave me a toy after all! I got a toy from Mr. Klaus! Servants! Don't worry about saddling up the ponies. I have all I want to play with right here. I'm so happy right now! Oh, lovely little pony, you're so sweet!
No, the children must not be happy. They must not.
No, that's my pony! I got that toy from Klaus! Bring it back! Bring it back now!
I was making more toys than ever before. So many I needed to build a sleigh to carry them all in. And the more toys I made, more and more children of the Emerald City were happy. They laughed, they did as their parents told them. I was putting true goodness in the world. And that did not please the Augurs. Across the land of Oz, the dark creatures stole into the homes of the children I had met and stole their toys from them. For days I had crying children coming to me to tell me how sad it made them.
The horrible thing came into my bedroom. It took my cat. I couldn't even stop him.
Which is what they wanted. The Augurs feast on sadness, and this made everybody sad, including me. I made more toys, of course, and tried to replace what the Augurs had taken. But I was one man, and the forces of darkness are many, and I struggled to keep up with the demand. And eventually, the Augurs started to bypass the children completely.
Get off! Get off! These are toys for the children, not for you! Go away, wicked Augur! Bring that bag back! The toys are for the children!
I grew discouraged. I couldn't get back to the children without the Augurs attacking me, so the children tried to come to me, but the wicked Augurs flew around them and caused their steps to stray, and the paths to become crooked, so never a little one could find a way into the Laughing Valley. Lonely days now fell upon me, now that I was unable to leave my home or have people visit. But I didn't give up hope. Surely the time would come when the Augurs would abandon their evil designs to harm me. I devoted all of my hours to toy making. As each plaything was completed, I stood it on a shelf. When one shelf became full, I made another shelf, and filled that one too. Eventually, my home was filled with fantastic and beautiful toys of horses, dogs, cats, elephants, lambs, rabbits, and deer, as well as pretty dolls of all sizes. At night, I would stare at my collection, saddened that the children could not enjoy them, and that I could not bring them their toys. And at last, it was the night before Christmas Day. And because I could bear it no longer, I ventured back to the forest of Bursey, where the Augurs could not follow, to seek assistance from Great Ak himself.
Although I had my concerns about your leaving Bursey, Claus, I have approved of the work you are doing among the children of mortals. It annoys me that your good deeds should be thwarted by the Augurs.
The children are so unhappy now, which means the grown-ups are equally unhappy. To have their toys stolen, stopping me from seeing them. It breaks my heart, Great Ak, and it breaks theirs too.
We immortals have no connection whatever with the evil creatures who have attacked you. Always we avoided them, and they in turn have hitherto taken care not to cross our pathway. But in this matter I find they have interfered with one of our friends, and I will ask them to abandon their persecutions, as you are under our protection.
Thank you, Master Woodsman.
Prepare to deliver your toys, Claus. I will meet with the Augur King. I demand the King of the Augurs to appear before me.
Who dares call on us?
It is I, the Master Woodsman of the world.
There are no forests for you to claim here, woodsman. We owe no allegiance to you or any immortal.
Yet you have ventured to interfere with the actions of Claus, who dwells in the Laughing Valley and is under our protection.
You are set to rule the forests, great Ak, but the plains and valleys are ours. Keep to your own dark woods. We will do as we please with Claus.
You shall not harm our friend in any way.
Shall we not? Shall we not? You will see. Our powers are vastly superior to those of mortals, and fully as great as those of immortals.
It is your conceit that misleads you. You are a transient race, almost, passing from life into nothingness. We, who live forever, pity but despise you. On earth you are scorned by all, and in heaven you have no place. Even the mortals after their earth life enter another existence for all time, and so are your superiors. How then dare you, who are neither mortal nor immortal, refuse to obey my wish?
Never before has an immortal declared himself as the master of the Arguers. Never shall an immortal venture to interfere with our actions again. Will you be so boldly avenge your words by killing your friend Claus? Nor you, nor all the immortals can save him from our wrath. We defy your powers. Begone, Master Woodsman of the world. In the domain of the Arguers, you have no place.
It is war between us, then.
It is war.
War? Oh no.
There was no other option, you see.
But how are we to proceed? We don't fight in the forest of Bazzi.
These creatures are of no benefit of the world. We must destroy them.
Their lives are devoted only to evil deeds. No conscience, no morals, and all they do is make mortals as bad as themselves.
They have defied you, great Ak.
And threatened the life of our adopted son.
You speak well. And what of you, Jack Frost? What is your perspective?
Well, great Ak, these Arguers are a powerful race. They'll fight pretty desperately, you know. But we immortals have one advantage. We don't die, do we? Arguers can. I say it's time for war.
Then it is settled. Let it be known that on this sacred night of Christmas Eve, we shall prepare for battle, and let us resolve to show no mercy to the wicked.
You can't go to war over me.
Don't you get it? This isn't about you anymore. It's about bigger things. It's the ultimate battle between good and evil, isn't it? I'd better get a good seat for this one.
What should I do?
I don't know. Whatever you like. Go back home. It's Christmas Eve after all. Spend it with your family. Oh, right. Your family is off starting a war, aren't they?
Quite.
Go make some more of your toys then. That'll cheer somebody up, right?
Yes, of course. I see. I'll get myself ready straight away.
And I won't be far behind you, little one.
And as the immortals prepared for the ultimate war, I ran home to play my own part. Jack Frost was right. There was no time to lose. While the Augurs were busy, it was the perfect opportunity to cheer up the people. The more good I could put into the world, the less power the Augurs had. And the best way I could do this was the same way I always had. With toys.
Okay, let's start with the dolls. We'll need plenty of those. Yes, especially the big ones. That'll cheer them up. And the cats. Cats are classic. Mustn't leave those out. Yes, I know this is Christmas Eve, but the immortals are still going to war, and I can't leave this for another night. I don't have time to argue with you, Blinky. They all have to go. They're going to the children of the Emerald City. Have to do my part for the war effort. Stop it. Toy soldiers. Yes, those will be perfect. They're thematically appropriate, even. Not that the mortals will know what's happening. What was that?
was indeed. For at that moment, right outside my house...
Can't have you helping them defeat the Ogwars, little claws. There's no point in a frost if there's no misery to go with it. And the Ogwars need misery. Let's keep you sealed up inside your home, shall we?
Is that you?
Stop trying to get out, Claus. Your whole house is frozen. Let it go. Enjoy your kingdom of isolation.
Jack! Let me out now! Jack Frost! Jack! It's already so cold in here. It's only going to get worse. Oh, I can feel it. Oh, Blinky, what are we going to do?
Meanwhile, on the plateaus of the Hoegerl Mountains, the terrible battle commenced. On the side of the Immortals stood the Ryals, armed with sharp thorns from bramble bushes. Then the Canucks, bearing the spears they used to force their savage beasts into submission. The fairies, dressed in white gauze with rainbow-hued wings, bore golden wands, and the wood nymphs, in their uniform of oak leaf green, carried switches from ash trees as weapons. And at the head of this army was the master woodsman himself, bearing a gleaming axe that shone like burnished silver. And standing behind the King Hoegerl were 300 Asiatic dragons, breathing fire that consumed everything it touched. There were three-eyed giants of Tartary, and the black demons of Patagonia, spreading their bat-like wings, spreading terror and misery in their wake. And the Goozle goblins, with long talons as sharp as swords that clawed the flesh from their foes. And every augur in the world had come to join the great battle with the Immortals.
There is still time to withdraw, King Hoegerl.
It is time we rid the world of all the Immortals once and for all. Destroy them all.
Immortals attack!
It's no use. It's no use trying anymore. I'm too cold. Face it, Claus. It's over. They've won. You hear that, Augurs? You've won. I give up. What's the point of trying to do good things when the whole world itself is against you? What's the point of going out in the world to bring sunshine when the world itself forces you in to stay in darkness? You want me to stay in here? Then stay in here I shall. I'm done doing good. Nasil? How are you here, Nasil? Aren't you fighting a battle?
I had to come to you. I couldn't bear to hear your heart break like that.
I'm sorry, but I don't see the point anymore. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try,
the forces of darkness will always be there, and they will always try and bring you down. But the only way you can diminish their power is to keep fighting. Never, ever give up, Claus.
but it's so hard to keep fighting.
And that is why your triumph will be all the greater. To give in gives the Augurs more power. To fight the darkness is to overcome it.
How do I fight this? I can't even leave my house.
Find a way. Take back the power.
Nasil! Nasil, come back! Don't leave me alone again! She's fighting wicked spirits in her own way. I suppose I should fight mine. And my first task is to get out of this house. Kingdom of isolation, my foot. What have I got here I can use? A million toys? No. A disgruntled cat? Of course! A tree covered in decorations that will make a perfect battering ram. I'm sorry, Riles.
It was a beautiful gift, but my need is greater right now. And 1, and 2, and 3. Put one foot in front of the other. And soon you'll be walking out the door! Jack Frost has outdone himself with this blizzard. I need a way to get to the Emerald City, but I'll never do it on foot in this snow. I need to use the sleigh. Never did organize those horses. How to pull it? In the name of the Canucks of the Forest of Burzee, I summon help from the animals of the world. Reindeer? Of all the... Really? Only reindeer available. Well, Jack Frost himself said they're great travelers on snow. Let's get you two harnessed up. I'm sure that the Canucks won't mind my borrowing them without asking. They are rather busy right now.
Stand your ground, immortals. We will overcome this evil if we stand together.
Great Ak, I fear we will not be triumphant. Even though we are immortal, their numbers grow.
Because they draw their power from the misery of humanity. And right now, on this night before Christmas, humanity is very miserable.
Then let's hope the little claws can bring some joy back to them in time.
Ho, ho, ho! Now I remember why I called this the Laughing Valley. Onward, reindeer! Onward! Dash away! Dash away all! I felt as if I could fly, that I could take that sleigh and the reindeer across the moon and back. But I had no time for joyriding. I set course direct to the Emerald City. It was well into the night by the time I arrived there. The green streets were empty as I pulled the sleigh up to the first house. I didn't realize I'd be here so late. Everyone will be asleep by now. Wouldn't want to wake them, of course. I'll just pop inside and leave them their toys to find in the morning. That'll make them happy, I'm sure. Of course. What right-minded person wouldn't lock their house up at night? Especially with the Ogres up to mischief. I suppose I could leave the presents out here, but I expect the snow will ruin them. There must be a way to get inside. Of course. To many of you out there, what I did next might sound like the most obvious thing in the world. To those people, I ask you, how easy do you think it is to climb down a chimney in the middle of winter?
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Especially carrying a sack full of toys. Nevertheless, I'd come this far and wasn't about to get caught on Christmas morning stuck inside a stranger's chimney. So through sheer determination, I made it to the bottom. I suppose I should be glad it wasn't lit. Now, which toy am I leaving for little Weekum? Yes, a boat. He'll like getting a boat. I'll just leave it here by his bed.
Is someone there?
Shh. Go back to sleep, little one.
Claus, is that you?
Shh. He'll have a surprise waiting for him when he wakes. Now to... Oh, Cookie's left to the side there. I'm sure he won't mind if I had just one. Now, back up the chimney, I guess. Oh well. All the houses were locked, so I repeated the process throughout the town. Slide down the chimney, leave a present for each child in the house, then back out again to the next one. Hardly any of them woke, which was helpful, since I didn't want to be noticed. The few that stirred, well, maybe they would consider me a dream. And what a surprise they would get, waking on Christmas morning and finding a shiny new toy. The children couldn't see me, but my actions were putting good back into the world, which meant the Ogres were losing their power.
The Ogres are retreating.
The powers of darkness are on the wane. Press home the advantage, immortals. We will be triumphant this day.
This is because of Claus. I know it is.
Find me the king of the Ogres. I want him brought before me.
We can't find him.
He seems to have fled.
Then we will search the world for him. He must not be permitted to spread his darkness any further.
palace chimneys. So much more spacious and roomy than most. Now, what shall I give to Princess Ascadelia?
An explanation?
I'm not really here. I am but a dream.
I might be a child, Mr. Claus, but I'm not that much of a child. Oh, you have toys!
Yes, I do.
Oh, gimme!
Wait, have you been a good girl?
Yes!
Truthfully? Because this is important. You must always do good, no matter who you are or where you're from. Always put good into the world, or...
Oh, you will find the darkness will consume you.
Oh, no.
What is it?
An augur.
King of the augur.
Stay away from it, Your Highness. It's very dangerous.
You call me dangerous when you...
I think it's wounded. You've come from the war, haven't you?
So you're the famous Claus, then? The reason why all this has happened? The one making children happy, putting goodness and light into the world.
The world is better for it.
Is it? Look what you've given these people. You've given them hope in a world where there is none. You've given them joy when ultimately there will only ever despair and sadness.
Is he right, Claus?
Don't listen to it, Ascadelia. Don't let his darkness in.
You'll spend all your days trying to bring them joy, Claus, but you'll never truly make them happy. They'll always want the next toy, Claus, the next shiny new thing, and they'll look to you for eternity and endlessly ask you for things. Their joy will be temporary, gone in an instant.
And then that will have been worth it. If I can bring one moment's joy to one child, if I can make someone's world less horrible, less dark, less lonely for just one tiny moment, then it's all worth it.
Such melodrama!
And you will never truly succeed, augurs. Not why people like me are in the world. You feed on darkness, but I bring them light. I will bring them the hope they need to fight you and to destroy you all.
Then do so from the grave!
Claus, are you okay?
I believe I impaled the creature on this candy cane, I believe. They're sharper than they look, you know.
You're hurt!
Am I? I don't feel hurt. I feel... Oh.
Claus? Mr. Claus, wake up! Wake up!
I am afraid that little Claus has given too much in pursuit of his dreams. He is not well. With the princess's help, the reindeer were able to get him back to his home in the Laughing Valley, where Nagel sits with him now.
Will he survive?
Nagel will care for him until the moment comes.
After all that battling for him, for the mortals, and now it's all over.
And this is why I have summoned the Council of Immortals to the Forest of Birdsea. For we must discuss the matter of Claus. For now, when he had won the love of all the world, the spirit of death is hovering over him. Of all humans who have inhabited the earth, none other so well deserves immortality. For such a life could not be spared so long as there are children of mortals to miss him and to grieve over his loss. We immortals are the servants of the world, and to serve the world we were permitted in the beginning to exist. But what one of us is more worthy of immortality than this man, Claus, who so sweetly ministers to the little children?
What is your desire, great Egg?
To bestow upon Claus the mantle of immortality.
The mantle of immortality? No, what?
But in all the world, there is but one mantle of immortality.
It's existed since the beginning, and we have never even considered passing it on to a mortal.
I know all this. But the mantle exists. And if it was created in the beginning, it was because it would someday be required. Until now, no mortal has deserved it. Who among you dares deny that the good Claus deserves it? Of what use is the mantle of immortality unless it is worn? What will it profit any of us to allow it to remain in its lonely shrine for all time to come?
Then it should be brought to a vote.
Indeed. Will we bestow on little Claus the mantle of immortality?
Wake up, Mary. Come on, it'll be breakfast soon. It's Christmas morning.
I'm coming, Mom.
And clean up your toys. I nearly tripped on this doll.
That's not my doll, Mommy.
Of course it is. It's one of those ones you got from Claus, isn't it?
Oh, I haven't seen this one before.
Is it new? But how did it get here?
Claus must have brought it. He bought me a present on Christmas Eve.
Now that's silly. Whoever thought of such a thing? Although, nobody else makes toys like that. And you're right, Marie. It is new.
He left it for me. How did he get in?
He's magic. That's how. Perhaps he's a saint. That's what he is. And a saint has no need to unlock doors if it pleases him to enter a home.
Santa Claus.
No, Marie. Saint. Not Santa. Saint.
Santa Claus. Santa Claus!
Blinky, is that you? Still as ornery as ever, I see. I feel like I don't have much longer. Perhaps it's my time. I've done all I can.
Oh, little one.
Lucille?
The spirit of death will not take you today, Niklaus. Of all days, not on Christmas morning. You have only just begun your great work. This is only the start of something wonderful.
I don't understand. I don't...
Oh, Claus.
We bestow this mantle upon Claus, who is called the patron saint of children.
No, I'm not worthy.
Oh, my little one. Who could possibly be more worthy of this than Santa Claus?
And on that day, that beautiful Christmas morning, my life started anew. I continued my work bringing joy to the world and happiness among children. Every year, on Christmas Eve, I would travel the world in my sleigh, leaving toys for children to discover to their immense pleasure on Christmas morning. I have done this for hundreds of years now, and thanks to the mantle of immortality, I shall do so forevermore. And so the world gets bigger, and now there are more children than ever. But on one day, when the world is at its darkest, I put good into the world, and it makes the world a little less dark, a little less lonely, a little happier. For in all this world there is nothing so beautiful as a happy child. And if I had my way, the children would all be beautiful, because all will be happy.
Ho, 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 everyone! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas to everyone! Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, written and directed by Aron Toman. Based on the book by L Frank Baum. Starring Stuart Anderson as Santa Claus, Gareth Severn as Great Ack, Tegan Harris as Nagel, Philip Schofield as Jack Frost, and Benjamin Maio Mackay as the King of the Orcas, with James Hoegerl as the Ryle, David Nagel as the Canucks, the Guardian, and the Orcas, Aron Toman as the voice of the forest, Cara Dennison as Ascadelia, Elise D'Amico as Weekum, Lucas Thomas as Mary, Jay Davis as Weekum's dad, and Erica Olivera as Mary's mum. Sound design by David Nagel and Aron Toman. Music by Tony Diana. This has been a crossover adventure production.